tuning in on the live feed. I appreciate you for tuning in during the live feed. If you're catching me, most likely you'll be catching me after it's been recorded, as I didn't really advertise this one at all. Just figured I'd put it together real quick. But if you enjoy my content and you haven't done so already, please subscribe. It helps get the content out there. Like the videos if you like them or dislike them if you think they suck. Go tell me in the comments. That's fine too. It's open for criticisms, constructive or otherwise. Let's not get toxic. I can get toxic with the best of them. So let's go if you really want to. But with that being said, I am here today to talk about the rush attack in the prep phase. We're going to start with defense, okay? I'm going to join the tournament. Definitely not running this. Apparently, this is the auto from the defense, which is fine. You're going to see, I bet, a lot of red inks, but I still think El Freaky is the premier option, okay? Now, I'm kind of thinking there's a couple different ways. I could do this and just go classic. Do that, and then throw Kara on there. And then we're looking at a pain in the ass. Double taunt, all that stuff. There's no red, even though there's no blue. So the reason I'm thinking that is I don't want to overthink it, okay? If you overthink it, you generally fuck it up. And El Freaky's still she's the gold standard until this Quintus, until the Quintus costume comes out. Then it's going to be El Freaky. Who's that? But until then, she's the gold standard for Rush. Ludwig on her left with costume Mother North. I mean, if Ludwig goes off, Mother North is going to fire almost every other turn, and at the end, every turn, giving you a chance to bring back El Freaky. If Kara goes off, that's 4 turns of taunt. I don't really have much else to say about this. You're going to see people running Black Knights. I think you'll see some Gravemakers. You might see some Khufus. He's one. If I finish him in time, I might slot him in where Kara is. He's so fucking devastating. Arco's another one. He's really, really fucking good. I don't have either of those guys ready yet. I've been working on Khufu and Arco and Ilmarinen. Super Wilbur. We'll call him Super Wilbur. Those are all some really good options there too. I mean, he's even an option, but you don't really care because of the ice. So I wouldn't use him, but Khufu's a good one. Black Knight's a good one. There's plenty of really good options. Now, when it comes to offense, I think the options you have, I'm going to go ahead and apply this. And I'm just going to back out to the hero page so I can just talk about some different defense options here. We're just going to go to this team here. I was just fucking around picking on Teleria tanks for old time's sake there. So a couple of the options for offense that I think are going to be very good is if you run El Freaky, if you have Ludwig, and then depending on who you're facing, like if you're facing a bunch of teams of BK or other taunters, you could bring Lepiata. Another one I might bring is Hell. I mean, you can lock down the entire board with this trio and then continuously fire. You could bring Melosi. He's great, especially against those taunters, especially against Ludwig's. I'm doing everything. You can't cast any new status effects. You can't cast stacks on allies or enemies for 3 turns, which is plenty. In Rush, that's plenty. Some other options, of course, you have Callo. I don't know how you're supposed to say his name. I call him Callo. But he's an option, especially on defense too. He's an option you can run. Franz is a great option you can run, especially if you have some other green mashers, which I do. You got Quinnell. We got fucking El Nadaha. Just call her fucking Nads. She's the fucking Nads, man. Got her. I have 2 Nads. There's the other one right there. This is so dumb. I'm so sorry about that. Not really. So, I think the majority of the time, those are going to be who I use is these 3 purples, and I don't know who else. It's going to kind of depend on what the defense looks like. There's also, if you don't have El Freaky, first world problems, I know, right? Other options you could run, I mean, I've shown it before. Guardian Panther and Killhair are just out of this fucking world. They're lights out. You could pair them with like a Hell, but other options you have, just because it's Rush, right? So speed, what class they are. For example, I could run something like this, okay? Let's say I'm facing an El Freaky tank. There's a Ludwig, there's a Black Knight. We could do something like that, and I could use this guy. I know I'm scrolling, right? But he's that good. Phase. I'm still just going to call him Fez because he's fucking Fez. He boosts the health by 350. That's not a percentage, that's 350 HP. That can exceed. Then you are immune to new status ailments for 4 turns, and you get 30 defense. So if we throw him on there and he goes off, and you have an El Freaky that goes off, it doesn't matter. She's not going to do all that much damage because your health is up. You've already boosted it, and your ailments, who cares? In Rush, again, Treeville, he's another great one. I could run Treeville with Panther and with Killhair, and that's an amazing team. I could run Kunchin. You can run Costume Vivica, wherever she is. She's great. 44 health, 44 defense down, and she dispels all the buffs. She doesn't dispel buffs first, which would be great. So, you need a second dispeller if you're using her against taunts. But another team I've had great success with is if I use Vivica, and I use, where is she? And I use Kara, and I use Penulite. That's a really great trio. You get attack up to your attackers, you get defense down to all the enemies, and you get a hard-hitting attacker and Penulite. You won't be able to use blues, so we won't talk about those guys. Any taunt hero, though, is great. So Black Knight, you're going to work Black Knight out. I'm sure a lot of people are really going to work him hard. Who else do we got? Who are some unused ones? Well, I mean, there's Scotty. And then there's, if you don't have some of the other defense down heroes, you have like an Asarnia. She is really awesome. That's 44 defense down, 6 turns. So if they don't have a cleanser, boom, you fire her off. You've got plenty of time to make some moves, okay? In costume, it's a little bit less. It's still 6 turns. It's still 255 damage. That's really great. Here's another one to look at. There's Sabina when she's in costume. Uncostumed Sabina's she's old news. I don't think anybody really uses her anymore. She regenerates 609 health over 3 turns, so that's 200 per turn. All the enemies are immune to new effect buffs. So when you're going up against those Ludwigs or those Black Knights, if you can fire her first, you don't need a dispeller. They can't go active. She's also one of the types that she's a cleric. So if you don't know clerics, the mana shield, they resist the negative mana effects. So that's another one that can save your ass against like an El Freaky. It's luck. It's just a % chance. It's 35% chance that her mindless attack won't take place. Who else is there that we want to talk about? Divana, she's good. I really still think most people are going to run El Freaky tanks. I think they should. If you think about it, who would you rather face? Would you rather face a red tank with no blues? Or would you rather face El Freaky in very fast? I'd rather face a red tank because none of them do what El Freaky does. El Freaky cripples you. If she goes off, she fucking cripples you. Now, let's say you do have Khufu. You could use Khufu. You could use this guy, Ilmar, and you could use Black Knight. That's a deathly trio. You could use Khufu, you could use him, and you could use Octros. Still another hell of a hard-hitting team, okay? I personally think Black Knight, Khufu, and this guy would be just really destructive. Wonder if you guys can hear my cat again. Say hi, buddy. But those guys will be real destructive as a trio. Hit all, attack up, defense down. That's really what these games are all about. Defense down, hitting all, and then it's fast speed. So there's no Morels to use, but Quinnell's great, Evelyn's great, Guan's great. I think that's pretty much where I'm at as far as things go. I think your mana control heroes, let's just pull some up just to make sure everybody's familiar with them. You have Hell. Who else do you have for mana control? You could consider Anatel mana control. She slows it. Who else do we got? I got plenty. We got Gretel. I'm going to move Anatel for now. You got Gretel with her mindless attack. You got Proteus. He's baby hell. He's still good. Still very good. When you get don't underestimate him. When you get those emblems up, that poison starts to creep up. It's enough to take out some people. Who else is there? Where's Hansel? There's Hansel. You even got fucking Merlin with the mindless attack to your targets. One underrated one, I think I scrolled by him. I think sometimes people forget about him too. Where is the green silencer? There he is. Tetuk. Silences the target. Silence is so great. Just talking us out, a team I'm probably going to run starting tomorrow is Tetuk with, where'd Fez go? Probably just passed him by. There he is. This will probably be a team you see me run a lot, depending on if there's a taunter. If there's no taunt, I'll be using Hell. We'll use Ludwig and we'll use Elfriki. Elfriki will get the 30. Hell will get the 11. Just because Ludwig's a little more important than Hell is to all that. They're still all going to charge in time. But this is going to be a devastating offensive team. Still have options. I can bring in Lepiata for those taunters. No problem there. If you don't have Lepiata, you can use Seashat. You can use Onyx. You can use Cage. Anyone that dispels. Cage is a great one too because he dispels before he hits. So those are some really great options, some good offensive teams. You don't really have to worry as much about color stacking, and I would really, really, really suggest you don't go mono. It's just way too tile dependent. It's just pure luck. You either get your tiles or you don't. There's no coming back. There's no somebody holding on for you. I like this team as constructed. Not with this one. Sorry. I really like this team as constructed. There's a shit ton of mana control. There's a shit ton of protection. Like Ludwig, not only does he get your people firing faster, he taunts. So Elfriki can go off. Boom, 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 boom. It just hits Ludwig. He's already done his damage if he's fired. And if he's not, he's already done his damage if he's fired. So he can die because you're going to win. So those are kind of what I was thinking about as far as defense and offense goes. Looks like I have one live subscriber, or I should say viewer, which is great. If you tuned in, I appreciate you, whoever you are. Appreciate the like too. If you're catching this at a later date or later time, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and hit the notification so you get notified when I go live. I'm going to be doing a lot of live videos. It's way easier to manage as far as from a data standpoint. Might get back into doing some other ones. If I do raids and stuff like that, I'll probably do pre-recorded just for ease of editing and putting things together of that nature. But I really appreciate you guys. I really hope nobody rages over Rush Attack. Keep that in mind. It is Rush Attack. You will get those fucked boards where you can't do shit but lose. But have a plan. That's what I'm kind of trying to talk people through, is have a plan on how you're going to go about attacking. Have a backup plan. These 3 greens, these 2 greens on here, they can save me from an Elfriki. I can get just some green tiles and stay alive with boosted health, with silencing the problems. And then these purples, boom, they take care of business. They lock the board down. You just keep on keeping on. So with that being said, guys, I appreciate it. Have a great rest of your night, and I will see you tomorrow for day 1 of the Rush Attack.